start streaming. Should I click the intro? Well, obviously it doesn't matter. You'll see if anything comes in.
Yeah, so I'm waiting to see if it's showing up like it's a live video. Not yet. Um, Let me look at it from this perspective. Okay, so don't do anything. Okay,
Okay.
this one is live apparently, but it is unlisted. But now I changed it to public, and let's see if it shows up now. Okay, I do see it. Let me click on it. Okay, yes, it is a black screen. And I'm going to change the name. Did you call it OB tests
No, that was
or
an
it just
old.
did it by
So
itself?
no, that did it by itself. That was old ones. It was that OG live grading. OB test was like what I named the previous one.
So it's Ohtani. What are the cards? Ohtani.
Sure. Ohtani, Spider Man, and Venom.
Okay. Okay. So I see the black screen. So let's get off the phone. It is streaming, and you can connect your iRune, and then of course do the intro, and then do your stuff. Okay.
Okay. All right. And I'll have my email open next to me, so that you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I can see the black screen, so I'm sure it's fine.
Good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, welcome to the live grading. Sorry about the delay. I had some technical difficulties, um, so hopefully you're patched in to see some of this. All right, so let's go. So first up, we have Shohei Ohtani. This is Titan Panini Chronicles numbered card, 24 out of 25. Titan blue cracked ice, I believe. Okay, so let's start off with centering. So this card has no clearly defined borders, so I will be using eye appeal. And the front of this card passes. And I will do the same for the back. And the back of the card also passes. This card is Gem Mint eligible. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's get to inspecting now. Okay, so first let's just look at it from the top, see if anything stands out. Looks to be a minor dimple beneath the T in Titan. All right, but let's get to inspecting. Okay, so I'll be using my 10x magnifying glass, starting at the corners, running from corners, looking at the angularity from corners down to the edges. Of course, at the corners and the edges, looking for thickness issues or any other kind of issue. Card appears clean. The corners are sharp. Just a little bit of dust. Just a second. Okay, move that off. Okay, so now let's start to inspect the surface. First with the light on. Yep, there's that little chip. We'll look at that together. Little dimple with the fixed magnifying glass. After I finish inspecting. The light on and then with the light off. And underneath my thumb. Okay, looks clean. Okay, so let's look at that one minor dimple. Right there underneath the T in Titan. I think it stands out through the ring of light. Okay, so now let's inspect the back of the card. Again, I will start with the corners running down through the edges. Corner itself looks clean, but looks to be a minor chip of the surface. We'll look at that together after I'm finished inspecting the corners, edges, and then again on the surface with the fixed magnifying glass. All the corners and edges look good from the back. Let's just look at this right now. So as you'll see right there at the surface, it's a little bit white, but sometimes that's a telltale sign of a flare. However, if you look here, as I turn the corner, there is no thickness issue. It is even. Therefore, it's just a minor surface chip. Okay, so now I'll inspect the rest of the back. Again with the light on first, and then with the light off. Okay, and underneath my thumb. Okay, looks clean. All right, so let's review this card. This card had one minor dimple on the front and one minor chip on the back because of that, this card grades as a Gem Mint 10. Awesome card. Okay, so let's move on to the next card after I record that. Okay, so next up we have a couple Marvel cards. First up, we have Spider-Man. This is Ultimate Spider-Man, I think. So we could call him. It's Miles Morales. Oftentimes this is called his rookie card, the 2012 Spider-Man. Really nice card. Okay, so just like the last card, this card does not have a clearly defined border, so I will be using the eye appeal standard to determine centering. And the front passes. Now the back. The back also passes. This card is Gem Mint eligible. Okay. Let's get to inspecting. So, card being Gem Mint, I want to give it a good look from here first to see if anything stands out. Appears to be a minor dimple on his arm, or chip. No, minor dimple, not a chip. The paint, none of the picture is removed. But we'll look at that closer in a moment. Okay, so let's start with the corners. Going from corners to edges. Looking at the angularity of the corners. And any thickness issue as well. Corners and edges are clean. They're sharp. 4 sharp corners. Okay, so now let's inspect the surface. There's a minor dimple on his arm. After I finish inspecting, I'll go back using the fixed magnifying glass to share that with you. With the light on, now with the light off. Sometimes with the light off, we'll see something that doesn't stand out with the light, shows up with the light on, especially if there's like multiple layers in a card, adding that extra level of care. Okay, so everything else looks clean. Let's look at that one minor dimple on his arm. So right there, it stands out. You see nothing else pops from his body. That's the only dimple that appears that's not supposed to be there. Very minor. Okay, so now let's inspect the back of this card. Again, I'll start with the corners and edges. Okay, the corners and edges look clean from the back as well. Now inspecting the back surface. And underneath my thumb. Okay, looks good. So let's review this card. This card only had one minor issue, one minor dimple on his arm. Let's say it center left, maybe. And because of that, this card grades as a Gem Mint 10. Really nice card. Okay, so let's record that. Move on to the next card. Last card of the night that was submitted. This is a Venom. This card is Venom. Alternate M. Marvel Metal. 1995. Pretty cool. Venom possessing the Punisher. Pretty cool design. If you look at his chest, you can see the Venom symbol combined with the Punisher skull. Real cool. Okay. So this card does not have any defined left or right or top bottom border that is parallel with each other. And so I will be using eye appeal for the front of this card. And this card passes the eye appeal standard. Okay, let's review the back of this card. And it's the same. There is no clearly defined equal and opposite border. So I will be using eye appeal. And this card passes eye appeal. This card is Gem Mint eligible. Okay, so let's get to grading. Again, just like the last two cards that were Gem Mint eligible, give it the once over, see if anything stands out. Nothing is standing out from here. Minor pinching maybe, or if that's now looks to be just part of the card forming. Okay, let's get to grading. Okay, so looking at the corners through the edges, okay, these corners are all sharp, and there's no thickness issues on the edges. Alright, so let's start to inspect the surface. There's be some minor dimples in the top left on the surface. We'll look at that together in a moment. Okay, so let's look at those minor dimples, surface irregularities up here. You'll see them on the surface right there. Let's see. This might not translate perfectly over the camera. Should see some of those minor little lines. Just minor surface irregularity near the top. Okay. All right, so let's inspect the back now. Again, I'll start with the corners down through the edges, checking for angularity or thickness issues. Look clean. Still appear sharp. Okay, so now the back surface. Light on and then light off. And lastly, underneath my thumb. Okay, back surface is clean. Okay, so let's review this card. So this card had one minor surface irregularity in the top left. Because of that, this card grades as a Gem Mint 10. It's an awesome card. All right, well, thank you for joining me. Sorry again for the technical difficulty that I had earlier. Hopefully we'll have that worked out by next Thursday or the next live grade. Please join us and check out our website, oggrading.com. Have a great night.